So welcome, mamas. I'm so honored to be here with you, practicing together. And today we'll be exploring the 10,000 joys and 10,000 sorrows that are a part of the human experience. As the Buddha said, life is suffering, and life has wonderful joys and wonderful challenges in it. And practicing acceptance around that can be an incredibly beneficial gift. So let's begin by closing the eyes and going inside and just allowing ourselves to relax into this spaciousness within us, the vast openness inside that can hold all of the 10,000 joys and all of the 10,000 sorrows. And just allow ourselves to see if we might notice one or two of them that might be calling for our attention right now. One or two of the 10,000 joys. Some delight that you might have experienced recently. Some quiet miracle that seeks no attention, as John O'Donohue says. A moment of connection. An experience in nature. And also creating space for one or two of the 10,000 sorrows that are a part of the human experience. And noticing this part of us that is experiencing that sorrow. Collectively, some of our hearts are aching for Mother Earth and climate change. Some of our hearts are aching for the people suffering because of this pandemic. Many of our hearts are suffering because of the disruption that's being caused by the political arena. And any other personal sorrows that might be there. Just creating space for them. Allowing them to be there as they are. And feeling the spaciousness, the vast capacity within us that can hold or meet these joys and these sorrows. It is said that we all have this capacity and spaciousness. We all have this within us. So we can just practice relaxing into the spaciousness, greeting what's there as it is. And also taking a moment to imagine your children. And noticing a joy, one or two joys that we feel for and with our children. one of their passions, something they're discovering, a relationship that's been nourishing them. And we can also open our hearts to include one or two of those 10,000 sorrows that they may be experiencing right now, and that we experience as we watch them move through these challenges. Just creating space, knowing that they too have 10,000 joys and they have 10,000 sorrows, just like us. And we haven't failed that is so. It is simply a part of the human experience. We can open our hearts to feel the sorrow that moves through us as we witness our children moving through a difficult time. And certainly this pandemic is a difficult time for them all. Allowing them both to be there. The 10,000 joys and the 10,000 sorrows, like a double helix, linked together. Side by side, in tandem. An intimate and integral part of the human experience. Coming back to that spaciousness within us that can hold it all. The wisdom within us that knows that this is so. And just tapping into that capacity within us to greet life as it is, with its 10,000 joys and its 10,000 sorrows. Feeling that capacity, you can begin to deepen the breath. Transitioning into deep 3-part breathing, feel free to bring the right hand to the belly, the left hand to the heart. And exhale, fully press the belly in, exiting the air out through the nostrils. Inhale, expand the belly, the rib cage, the collarbones rise. And exhale, collarbones lower, chest lowers, belly deflates. Inhale, expanding belly, rib cage, collarbones rise. And continue at your own slow breathing pace. And feel the rising, and you can even name the breath rising as you inhale. And you can name the breath falling as you exhale. Pardon. And see if you can match the word to the breath as precisely as possible. On the in-breath, if you'd like, you can begin to engage Mula Bandha, root lock, drawing the pelvic floor up 3 or 4 flights with rising. And as you exhale, you can release Mula Bandha, drawing the pelvic floor down those 3 or 4 flights with falling. aligning mind, body, and spirit. Mantra, movement, although subtle, and breath. One more breath, lots of presence. Rising, falling. And return the breath back to normal. You can bring the hands onto the heart or palms together in front of the heart. And bow the head humbly down to the openness of the heart. And just take a moment to acknowledge and to celebrate that divine spark of life and light that rests deep within you. Take a moment to acknowledge and to celebrate that divine spark of life and light that rests within each of your children. See that light within them and bow to it. And take a moment to acknowledge and to celebrate that divine spark of life and light that rests within all beings everywhere without exception. And gently lift the head, neck, and chest. Rotate the palms up, spread the arms wide apart, bending the elbows slightly into the sides of the body, fanning the thumbs back. Rock the hips forward, lift the head, neck, and chest, and just take a few deep breaths, opening our arms and our hearts wide to the 10,000 joys. Just opening to the potential for joy in our lives and delight, the feeling of connection and love. Take a deep, rich breath in. And exhale, round the back, tuck the chin, and dive the arms forward. Interlocking the thumbs, diving the arms. And just kind of like diving into the waves of the ocean. And imagining just diving in a little bit into the 10,000 sorrows. It's just waves of sorrow. There's so much resistance to sorrow that this can feel completely counterintuitive, and yet it can bring the deepest kind of freedom when we're not running from the pain in our lives, but just surrendering into it like we might surrender into a crashing wave. Just relaxing our body as it comes. So rotate the palms up, fan the arms wide apart, lift the head, neck, and chest, opening to the 10,000 joys. And exhale, bow the head, interlock the thumbs, dive the arms forward, diving into the 10,000 sorrows. Inhale, opening our arms and hearts to the 10,000 joys. And exhale, diving into the 10,000 sorrows. Coming forward, bowing down, and continue at your own slow breathing pace. And you might begin to weave the mantra in. Rising on the in-breath. Falling on the out-breath. Just riding the waves of these ups and downs of life. Good. After the next full round, you can pause. come onto the mats. So you can bring your hands forward onto the mat, hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips. Around the back, tuck the chin, tucking the tailbone under. And then lift the head, neck, and chest, swing the buttocks up, opening the heart to the 10,000 joys. Take a deep breath in, rising. And exhale, rounding the back, tucking the chin, bowing the head, falling, bowing down to the sorrows. Inhale, lifting head, neck, and chest with rising. And exhale, bowing down with falling. And continue at your own slow breathing pace, nice and slow. Good. And after the next full round, you can pause, lowering the buttocks towards the heels, forehead towards the earth. Just resting into extended child's pose for a few breaths. This simple pose is very helpful for the low back. So you might even bring some attention to the low back and take a few deep breaths here. Rising, feel the low back rise. Falling, feel the low back fall. Just a few more breaths like that. Good, and after the next exhalation, you can extend the arms forward, shifting the weight into the hands, coming up onto all fours, and melting the hips forward, lifting head, neck, and chest, moving towards a supported upward dog with the knees down. Or if it feels okay today, you could lift the knees up off the floor, but please don't force that. See what feels best for you. Opening the chest, opening the heart. Take a nice deep breath in. Opening to the 10,000 joys, and exhale, press back either into child's pose, or you can curl the toes under and lift the hips up high into downward dog like an upside down V shape, bowing down to the 10,000 sorrows. And moving between the two with a breath. Inhale, come forward and up towards upward dog, rising. Exhale, press back into child's pose or downward dog with falling. Inhaling, coming forward and up with rising. Exhaling, pressing back with falling. And continue at your own pace. Flowing with the ups and downs of our life. And after the next full round, you can pause. Just resting into child's pose again. And bringing some loving attention to your dear back body. Breathing, carrying attention into the low back. Take a nice deep breath in. Feel the low back rise. And exhale, feel the low back fall. And a few more breaths like that with rising, falling. And after the next full round, you can pause. Returning the breath back to normal. bringing the arms alongside the legs, lifting the torso up, lifting the body all the way up to standing. Standing near the front of the mat. Drawing some energy that tends to swirl around in the head, especially when we're trying to figure out how to get out of our suffering and get out of our sorrows. The planning managers in our minds that try to recreate the world so there's no pain in it. See if we can bring some of that planning, fixing energy, some of that energy that's up there in the heads, in the mind, down into the body, down into the legs, down into the feet, and feel your connection with the earth that the force of gravity affords us. From that grounded, rooted place, deep down, drawing energy from the earth energy up into the legs like a tree does. Suction cupping up into the legs, up the spine, into the heart. Maybe even rotating the palms forward. This is an external rotation of the shoulders. It opens the heart more fully. Lifting through the crown. Just standing tall in Tadasana, mountain pose. Just as a mountain greets the sun and the rain. May our hearts greet the joys and the pain that comes through these weather patterns in our lives. Just feel your capacity for that as you stand here tall like a mountain. Unite the palms together in front of the heart, really honoring the heart. You've made it this far in your life. You've faced great pain. There is courage within you. There is capacity within you. Just take a moment to honor that. Extend the arms forward, up and back. And take a moment to also honor as we stand here saluting the sunlight. Really honor that your children have that great capacity within them too. That capacity to face the 10,000 joys and the 10,000 sorrows that are a part of life. Freedom doesn't necessarily come from trying to protect our children from the pain, like the Buddha was once protected as a prince. But just as the Buddha did, he left the walls of the palace and he walked into the streets to see someone who is sick and old and dying. The true gift is to be intimate with the reality of life, all of its joy and all of its pain. So just take a moment to open your heart to that and open your heart to your children's capacity to face all of that. Take a nice deep breath in and exhale, hinge forward and bow down. Tuning in to your body and all it's communicating to you right now. Noticing your low back, behind the knees. Just breathing into any areas that need your loving attention. Noticing any areas of spaciousness through the body. And noticing any areas of achiness with the same caring attention. Good, and then bend the knees, fingertips in line with the toes. Step the left foot far back. Left knee raised or lowered, lifting the head, neck, and chest. And we can all relate to the Buddha's parents that were trying to protect him from knowing about death and knowing about sickness and knowing about old age. We too have parts of us as parents that want to shelter our children from the realities of life. And yet that's not what brings them the greatest freedom or the greatest capacity to cope with life. I love this anonymous prayer. Or I don't pray that my children have an easy life because I know that's not possible. I pray that my children have the courage, strength, and resources to make it through real life. So instead of trying to shelter our children and create an easy life for them, instead we can reflect on our own capacities and resources within us and around us, and encourage them as they develop theirs and tap into theirs. Take a nice deep breath in and exhale, right foot back, down your dog or plank pose. Just bowing down to anything that's coming up for you around this. Images, concerns, hopes or fears. You can either rest in downward dog. Some of you might want to go into all fours or rest into child's pose. Some of you might want something more challenging, like plank. And you can always alternate between one or two of those positions. I'll choose the more medium, the middle path pose, which is the downward dog pose here. See what feels best for you. And just notice what's getting stirred for you around this theme of the 10,000 joys and the 10,000 sorrows that are a part of our life, and the part of the human existence. From here we can come forward and up into cobra or upward dog. In cobra, the belly's on the floor, the chest is rising. We tuck the chin slightly and we lift the back of the head up. Squeeze the shoulder blades towards each other, and you can press the hands down and back towards the feet isometrically. You can lift the kneecaps up. You can press the nail bed of the toes into the floor. Inhale here with rising. And exhale, lowering the forehead down, lowering the knees down, pressing the hands forward and down, falling. Inhale, lifting head, neck, and chest, rising. And exhale, pressing the hands forward and down as the head comes down and the legs relax, falling. And continue at your own slow breathing pace, just riding the waves of the breath. Practice riding the waves of life. And after the next full round, you can pause, press the hands down, and lift the hips up high, downward facing dog. John Kabat-Zinn says, "You can't stop the waves, but you can learn how to surf." Although many of us do try to stop the waves, and we expend a tremendous amount of energy trying to do so, fighting against the waves, trying to get the waves to stop, wondering why they keep coming. So from here, we can look between the hands and step the left foot forward between the hands, right knee raised or lowered, lifting the head, neck, and chest. So we can practice seeing more clearly that this is just a part of life. Waves will come, just as they do in the ocean. We can't make them stop, but we can learn how to be with the waves. We can go under the waves and just relax as a big wave pounds us. We can learn to ride the waves, whether it's boogie boarding or surfing or body surfing. We can harness that energy and survive it much better with much less energy expended than if we try to stop the wave. Which is not only a lost cause, it's something that we'll end up spending a tremendous amount of energy trying to do. So lifting the head, neck, and chest. Take a nice, deep, rich breath in, opening to the 10,000 joys and 10,000 sorrows. And exhale, step the right foot forward to meet the left as we bow down to them all. One of the great teachers in forest monasteries in Thailand, Ajahn Chah, says, to run away from suffering is actually to run towards it. Not only in our own lives, but also in our children's lives, as mothers watching them. To run away from suffering or to try to help our children run away from suffering is actually to run towards it for ourselves and for our children. We can gently, lovingly sit with them, be with them, and remind them that their hearts are big enough to hold the joy and the sorrow, the jealousy they feel or the anger, the confusion and the delight. Their hearts are big enough to hold it all. That's a powerful message we, as mothers, can share with them. Extend the arms forward, lengthening through the low back, lifting the torso up, lifting the arms up, arching up and back, and feeling our own capacity, taking several deep breaths, reminding our children of their capacity to greet life as it is, as painful as it sometimes is. If we see that capacity in them, it brings that capacity alive in them more fully. They need us to see their capacity to greet the challenges of life in a very simple way, without dismissing their pain. I see your pain. Tell me all about how dark it is for you right now, how hard it is. And I see your ability to make it through this, sweetie. Tell me all about it. Leaning into their challenge, their dark place, so they're not alone in it. In a calm, open-hearted way. Take a nice deep breath in and exhale. Unite the palms and slide the hands down to the level of the heart. And just find that inner mountain again that welcomes all weather patterns, stormy and calm. This inner mountain is what we can bring to our children when they move through the challenges in their lives, when they're feeling tossed at sea. This openness, this steadiness, this capacity to meet and greet the suffering they're experiencing in the moment. The issue at hand. Exhale fully. Inhale the arms forward, up and back, rising. Exhale, bow down, falling. Inhale, right foot back, rising. Exhale, left foot back, falling. Inhale, come forward and up, rising. Exhale, downward facing dog, falling. Inhale, right foot forward, rising. Exhale, left foot forward, falling. Inhale, arms forward, up and back, rising. Exhale, palms to the heart, falling. Inhale, arms forward, up and back, rising, riding the waves, falling. Inhale, left foot back, lift the chest, rising. Exhale, right foot back, falling. Inhale, come forward and up, rising. Exhale, downward dog, falling. Inhale, left foot forward, rising. Exhale, right foot forward, falling. Inhale, arms forward, up and back, rising. Exhale, palms to the heart, falling. Inhale, arms forward, up and back, rising. Exhale, bow down, falling. Inhale, right foot back, rising. Exhale, left foot back, falling. Inhale, come forward and up, rising. Exhale, downward dog, falling. Inhale, right foot forward, rising. Exhale, left foot forward, falling. Inhale, arms forward, up and back, rising. Exhale, palms to the heart. Pause here and just take a few breaths, integrating. Noticing what's unfolding for you internally right now. What's coming up for you around all of this? Just be present with that. And continuing with some variations. Exhale fully, standing tall in Tadasana, feeling the strength of your mountain. Inhale, arms forward, up and back, rising as we open to the 10,000 joys. And exhale, bow down to the 10,000 sorrows. And just pause here for a few breaths. And bring the hands to the shins, straighten the arms, lifting the torso up halfway. And the tops of the hips can be pouring down towards the thighs. You can bend the knees a little bit to make that happen. The coccyx, the tip of the tailbone, might swing back and up a little bit. And then you can slide the hands down the thighs, down the legs. Bowing down again. Hands can slide down towards the ankles or heels. And with a breath, inhale, hands to shins. Lift the torso up halfway, hands to shins or thighs. And exhale, sliding the hands down as we bow down more fully. Inhale, rising. Exhale, falling. Inhale, rising. Exhale, falling. Continue at your own pace, surfing the waves of life, riding the waves of the 10,000 joys and the 10,000 sorrows. After this next exhalation, you can pause. Fingertips in line with the toes. Exhale fully. And you can inhale the right foot back, lift the head, neck, and chest. And you can opening the chest, opening the heart. You can ground into the left foot, maybe walk the left heel forward a little bit and left foot out to the side a little bit for more stability. And bring the hands to the left thigh, lifting the torso up. And then lift the arms up and back, opening up to the realities of life itself. With all of its 10,000 joys and 10,000 sorrows, take a nice deep breath in. And then exhale, lower the hands down and rock the hips back. So the left leg can move towards straight, but it doesn't have to be straight. It can be softly bent like mine is. And we're going to rock. So rock the hips forward, lift the arms up and back with rising. And exhale, bow down. Rock the hips back, falling. Inhale, rock the hips forward, lift the arms up, rising. Exhale, lower the arms down, rock the hips back, falling. And continue at your own breathing pace, a few more rounds, riding the waves. Opening up to the reality of life with all of its 10,000 joys and 10,000 sorrows. It's a reality for us, and as much as we might not want it to be, it's a reality for our children. The more we can embrace and accept that, accept and embrace it, the greater ease we'll have, but also the greater capacity our children will have, because they won't see us resisting life. They'll benefit from our capacity to greet it. After the next full round, you can pause, lowering the hands down, lifting the head, neck, and chest. Take a nice deep breath in, and then exhale, step the left foot back. Downward dog or plank or child's pose, all fours, whatever feels best for you. Lots of options here. And then see if you might move into downward dog for just a moment. We're going to lift the right leg up. We're going to bend the right knee and rotate the right hip up, stretching the right quadricep and hip flexor. Take a nice deep breath in there. And exhale, pull the right knee forward between the hands. Walk the right foot out to the left a little bit. Move the right knee out to the right a little bit. You can walk the left foot back. Lift the head, neck, and chest, arching up and back with rising. And then exhale, falling as you walk the hands forward and down. Lower the elbows down. And you can either drop the head down, let it hang. Some of you might want to bring the hands together, extend the thumbs, and let the center of the forehead, the point between the eyebrows, rest on the thumbs. That's an acupressure point for stress relief. Or you can just extend the elbows out to the sides and let the forehead rest on the hands or on the ground. Your choice. If this is too much for your leg, another option is to roll onto your back with your right knee towards your chest, and the left hand can just hug the heel a little bit, right hand can hug the knee. So it's a similar position without as much pressure on the leg. Otherwise, see if you might take a few breaths in this position. Rising, falling. Just continuing to ride the ups and downs of our lives with the same caring attention. Kafka writes, "You can hold back from the suffering. You have free permission to do so, and it is in accordance with your very nature. But perhaps this very holding back is the one suffering you could have avoided." Perhaps this very holding back from suffering is the one suffering you could have avoided. And it's this very holding back from suffering, Kafka is kind of insinuating here, that makes the other forms of suffering, just the natural experiences in our life, even harder. So we'll say more about that on the other side. First, we'll come out of the pose, so take a nice deep breath in. A long, slow exhalation. Lift the head, neck, and chest. Walk the hands back to the knee. Take a nice deep breath in, arching the back, opening the heart. And exhale, curl the left toes under, slide the right foot back, downward dog. And you can lift the left leg up, bend the left knee, rotate the left hip up. Take a nice, rich, deep breath in. And exhale, pull the left knee forward. Walk the left foot out to the right. Slide the right foot back. Lift the head, neck, and chest, arching up and back for a few breaths. Opening, opening, opening up. Yes, take a nice deep breath in. And then exhale, walk the hands forward, elbows out to the sides, maybe palms together, thumbs touching the center of the eyebrows, center point between the eyebrows. Or you can have the palms down, elbows sliding out. See what feels good to you. And if this is too much for your legs or hips, you can roll onto the back and just hug the left knee into the chest. Right hand holding the foot out to the right, left hand holding the knee out to the left and the head down. Okay? Otherwise, just enjoying one-legged pigeon pose. So Kafka's words are also, in a way, reminding us of the Buddha's teaching of the two arrows. That's one of the famous teachings of the Buddha, where he talked about the experiences in our lives are like an arrow being shot into our arm. And they hurt, and they can be painful, these challenging experiences we will encounter. But as soon as we start trying to make them not so, trying to get rid of the pain, immediately there's a second arrow there in the same place, intensifying the suffering. So Kafka's alluding to this idea that there is unnecessary suffering with that second arrow. The first arrow, it's just what life brings. There are experiences in life that will be challenging, like a pandemic or a fire or a child who feels depressed. And it's in our nature to resist those things and try to avoid the pain of them, but in doing so, we generate a second arrow for ourselves and for our children. So instead, we can just be with the suffering, like the archetype of green Tara, she who hears the cries of the world, the mountain that can easily receive the stormy rain. We can bring our calm, spacious, loving presence, our curiosity and openness and interest to be with our children as they experience their pain, and to remind them that yes, this is hard, and I see you. I see your capacity to navigate this well. I don't know how you're going to do it, but you always do. And I'll be right here for you to listen and hear how hard it is along the way. So we don't want to dismiss their pain in the process of acknowledging their capacity. That can create a lack of emotional safety for them. Create lots of spacious holding, listening, understanding, and see their capacity. Sometimes we might say, I'll hold your light and your goodness and your capacity, sweetie, as you tell me how hard and hopeless it all feels. And then we listen for an hour or two, if we have it. So take a nice deep breath in. Long, slow exhalation. And lift the head, neck, and chest. Walk the hands back to the knee, lifting the torso up. And just take a moment to integrate with your open heart here. Take a nice deep breath in. And exhale, step the left foot back, downward dog. And just heel, bend, alternate heel press, bend one knee and then the other knee. Stretching out the calves, moving through the hips a little bit too. Good, and then exhale fully. Inhale, come forward and up into cobra or upward dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right foot forward. And pause here. You can walk the right foot up to the right a little bit. Maybe walk the right heel forward. And then lift the hands to the right thigh. Lift the head, neck, and chest. And lift the arms up. Opening the arms, opening the heart, opening to the 10,000 joys and the 10,000 sorrows in our life and in our children's lives. The wisdom within us knows this. The spaciousness within us has the capacity to greet it all. Take a deep breath into that knowing. Yes, and exhale, lower the hands down, rock the hips back. Move the right leg towards straight, but it doesn't need to be straight. Melt the belly towards the thigh, chest towards the knee, head towards the toes. And with a breath, inhale, rock the hips forward, lift the arms up with rising. Exhale, lower the hands down, rock the hips back with falling. Inhale, rock the hips forward, lift the arms up with rising. Exhale, lower the arms down, rock the hips back with falling. And continue at your own pace, a few breaths. Riding the waves of the 10,000 joys and the 10,000 sorrows. And after the next full round, you can pause. Eventually, resting with the hands down and the head, neck, and chest lifted. Take a nice deep breath in. And exhale, step the left foot forward to meet the right. And just pause there for a breath or two. Good. Just notice what's there. Cultivating presence with what is. Exhale here. Inhale, arms forward, up and back, rising. And exhale, palms to the heart, falling. Pausing here, stand tall. And just bear witness for a moment as you integrate all that's unfolding within you right now. Good. Softly open the eyes, sustaining that thread of connection with your inner life. Release the arms. And you can lay down onto the belly. I'm going to put on a little jacket because my body's cooled down quite a bit. It's cold here today. Feel free to put on some warmer clothes yourself if you're feeling cool too. Laying down eventually onto the belly, relaxing in Advasana, relaxation pose on the abdomen. You can cross the arms out in front, or you can have the arms alongside the legs, your choice. And take a nice deep breath in, feel the low back rise. And exhale, feel the low back fall. Good, and then you can lift the head, neck, and chest. Bring the arms alongside the legs, lift the arms. You can interlace the fingers back behind you, pressing the knuckles towards the feet if that serves you, or just have the arms free, your choice. Lift the legs, spread the legs mat width apart, and rotate the toes out to the sides. That will strengthen the muscles in the gluteal region and low back that help to support the low back. So inhale here, rising. And exhale, slowly lower down, legs together, forehead down, arms down, falling. Inhale, rising. Rotate toes out, lift legs and arms. Exhale, falling. And continue at your own pace. Practice riding the waves. Practice greeting the ups and downs in our lives with the same loving presence. Good. After the next full round, you can pause. And place the palms face down underneath the shoulders. Press up onto all fours. And then just melt the buttocks towards the heels, forehead towards the earth. You can spread the knees apart about mat width for a little bit of a wide angle child's pose. And then either keep the arms out in front or slide the hands in between the legs. Hands can be by the feet for a nourishing variation of child's pose. See what feels best to you. Arms out front or hands by the feet. Just taking a moment to surrender into the pose. Nothing to do. Nothing to fix or solve. Simply being present with yourself. And feel this non-fixing presence. It's this kind of presence that can be helpful to bring to our children when they're in pain. It's a non-abandoning, non-intrusive presence. Just feel into this presence and how simple it is. How little energy it requires. How sustainable it is. This is the presence that our children need most from us.
This is the presence that, if we offer it, we are much less likely to feel drained. Even if our children are going through hard moments. It's a presence that can resonate with, like Green Tara, she who hears the cries of the world. Take a nice deep breath into this presence within you. And allow for a long, slow exhalation. And walk the hands towards the legs, lift the torso up. Soft face, soft eyes. We were in that pose for a while, so just keep the face soft. Bring the legs out in front. We'll bring the hands back behind us slightly. The fingers can point towards the wall behind us. This will allow for an external rotation of the shoulder joints. Opening the chest and heart, squeeze the shoulder blades towards each other, bend the knees, rock the hips forward, a little mini back bend, lifting head, neck, and chest. Take a nice deep breath in, rising. And then exhale, falling. Slide the hands along the thighs and the shins, bowing down. It's perfectly fine to keep the knees a little bit bent, or you can move them more towards straight. Instead of trying to get somewhere in the pose, just be curious about the body if you can, and where the body will end up in this position today. Take a few deep breaths, lifting head, neck, and chest slightly with a rising. And exhale, lowering down a little bit with falling. And continuing at your own breathing pace. And after the next long, slow exhalation, you can pause. And just be present in that simple, gentle, caring way. Just be present with yourself and whatever's unfolding within you. And just take a moment to notice what's unfolding within you. And practice including it with Ajahn Chah's teaching, this too I include. Whatever is unfolding within you, greeting it with, this too, this joy, this sorrow, this too I include. There's a freedom and a power in including everything. An integration that is deeply, deeply healing. Take a nice deep breath in. A long, slow exhalation once again. And then lift the torso up, lifting the arms up, moving into Dandasana, staff pose, upraised. And just take a moment and open up to support around you, within you, higher self, higher power, Mother Nature, ancestors, any spirit guides or animal guides, whatever it is, angels that you call to or know. Just ask for some support with your opening up to the 10,000 joys and 10,000 sorrows that are a part of life. And ask for some support from higher self and higher power. Ask for some support with being with your children's 10,000 joys and their 10,000 sorrows. Take a nice deep breath in. And exhale, lean back a little bit, spread your arms wide apart, and send some supportive wishes to all the other mothers in our circle. Sending them some support that they may feel supported in opening to their 10,000 joys and sorrows. That they may be supported as they bear witness to their children experiencing their 10,000 joys and sorrows. Feel that supportive community. We're sending this support to each other here. Receive it as you lower all the way down, and receive it as you hug the knees into the chest. Receiving that support and care from the other women in the circle, hugging the knees into the chest, and you can either rock or you can be still, see what nourishes you and your back more fully. Remembering we're not alone in this. Just like the Buddha's parents, we will have impulses to fix the challenges in our children's lives, to try to orchestrate their lives so they avoid all of the pitfalls and drawbacks, especially ones that we suffered through. But in doing so, we often end up crippling them and giving them the message that they're not capable. And instead, we can be with them in their pain. We can be with them in their challenges. We can express curiosity and interest in the storm they're going through, the dark night of the soul they're navigating. And we can do so also reflecting back their capacity. And I don't know how you're going to make it through, but I know you. And I know you're going to make it through this. And I'll be here for you as you do. Maybe at the end of the hour that we listened to them, not every 5 minutes. Mostly a calm, listening presence is what they need. So from here, open the arms wide apart, take a nice deep breath in, and exhale, knees to the left, head rolls heavy on the floor to the right, flowing twist. Inhale, knees to the chest, and exhale, knees to the right, head to the left. Good. Inhale, rising. Exhale, falling. Inhale, rising. Exhale, falling. And continue at your own slow breathing pace. Good, and after the next full round, you can pause. Eventually reclining on the back for final relaxation practice. Or you can sit next to the wall and swing the legs up the wall for legs up the wall pose. Might also be a time to get a blanket. Again, I'm feeling a little colder today, so I'm going to take a blanket and maybe turn on the heat a little bit. So really get yourself nicely situated and nourished. For this relaxation practice. a few moments, I'll invite you to inhale, hold the breath, and squeeze tense certain parts of the body. When the sign is given to release, we'll exhale and we'll relax the muscles completely. And we'll do that 2 times with the breath because the muscles in the body tend to be chronically tight, neither fully engaged nor fully relaxed. So by engaging them more intensely, they can relax more deeply. So take a nice deep breath in, scrunch up the face, make fists with the hands, point the toes, lift arms and legs a little bit. Exhale, relax the muscles completely. Inhale, open the mouth, stick out the tongue, stretching the jaw. Open the eyes to the top of the vision, splay the fingers, splay the toes, lift arms and legs a little bit. Good. Close the eyes, close the mouth. And allow the entire body to be deeply, deeply relaxed. And begin to visualize or sense or feel a beautiful light enveloping the body in all directions. A beautiful, warm, nourishing light. And bring the awareness to the light that rests near the soles of the feet. And invite this light into the feet, feeling the ankles relax. The calves and shins are softened and soothed. And this light moves up into the knees, creating warmth and space there. Invite this light up in to the upper legs, pouring into the hips, shining into the pelvic area. This light shines into the reproductive organs, harmonizing, balancing them. Visualize light in the darkness of the womb. This beautiful light shines through the digestive organs, cleansing and relaxing them. Feel a deep rest in the belly center, soft and flowing. This beautiful light shines into the chest, pouring into the heart. Visualize the heart radiating the infinite glow of loving kindness in all directions, including towards you, towards your own dear self. Feel the loving light from your own dear heart shining itself on you. And bring the awareness to the light that rests in the hands, bathing them in warmth. And invite this light into the hands, feeling the fingers and wrists relax. The forearms, elbows, and upper arms grow heavy and warm. And this light shines into the shoulders. Feel the shoulders relaxing. Warm light moves into the neck, softening and soothing the neck muscles. Bring the awareness to the light that rests near the very base of the spine. And invite this light up the spine, vertebra by vertebra, part by part. And feel the entire back growing warm and relaxed and healed by this light. This light moves freely up the spine. It moves up into the neck, into the throat. The tongue softens, the lips are warmed. The Cheekbones and jaw are relaxed. The jaw is completely relaxed. Ears, nose, and eyes are all filled with the most beautiful light, and the eyelids grow heavy. The temples, the eyebrows, and the center of the forehead relax. The center of the forehead is completely relaxed, and the entire face becomes expressionless. The sides of the head, the back of the head, and the crown of the head are all filled with light. The entire body, the entire being is filled with and emanating the most beautiful, warm, healing light. Just be a witness to this light that's in you and around you and with you always. Very gently invite the awareness back to the breath. And take a deep, rich breath in. And slowly exhale. Gently unwind. Gently inhabiting the physical body more fully by maybe wiggling the fingers or toes a little bit, stretching in any way that feels right. Eventually rolling all the way over onto the side. Just pause there in a curled up fetal position for a moment's rest, lovingly beholding yourself. And take a moment to really acknowledge yourself for dedicating this time for the benefit and good of your children, for the benefit and good of all. Make a ripple effect. Press the hands down into the earth, lifting the body up to seated. You can come to a comfortable seated position, closing the eyes, checking the posture. And I'll leave you with these words by Palmer Parker and Elizabeth Kubler-Ross. I'd like to offer 2 readings as we close today. Palmer Parker writes, "The human soul doesn't want to be advised or fixed or saved. It simply wants to be witnessed, to be seen, heard, and companioned exactly as it is. When we make that kind of deep bow to the soul of a suffering person, our respect reinforces the soul's healing resources, the only resources that can help the sufferer make it through." Again, the human soul doesn't want to be advised or fixed or saved. It simply wants to be witnessed, to be seen, heard, and companioned exactly as it is. When we make that kind of deep bow to the soul of a suffering person, our respect reinforces the soul's healing resources, the only resources that can help the sufferer make it through. So profound. And Elizabeth Kubler-Ross writes, "The most beautiful people we have known are those who have known defeat, known suffering, known struggle, known loss, and have found their way out of the depths. These persons have an appreciation, a sensitivity, and an understanding of life that fills them with compassion, gentleness, and a deep, loving concern." So bringing our hands together in front of our hearts or placing our hands on our hearts. Just taking a moment to feel your capacity to meet and greet the 10,000 joys and 10,000 sorrows of your own life and of your children's lives. Knowing we can tap into this capacity as they go through the challenging moments, trusting in their capacity to make it through. In honor of this, we offer ourselves and each other and all beings a deep, humble bow and namaste. Namaste. So I'll look forward to seeing you in about 5 minutes. Looks like 10:30 or so. Thank you for practicing this morning together.